Hello, everybody. Superior Stacker here today, guys. Today we have some sad news. The death of the U.S. penny. Definitely very sad for all of us collectors. We obviously, at one point or even still, admire the American U.S. penny, and but I've heard it was coming in its way. It's many people were talking about it, how much the cost of making a penny was. So it was kind of coming sooner or later, unfortunately. And it definitely has been around for a long time, 232 years. If the first penny that came out, of course, there was some colonial issues and stuff, but one that's very famous was a Fugio cent. It was in 1787. It was authorized by the U.S. to be established and used, but it was not made by the U.S. Mint. That one had like a sundial, and on the back it had a chain wreath, and it was replaced later on by the flowing hair wreath cent in 1793 was the first copper cents that we minted and we put out for circulation by the U.S. Mint. Actually, it was on March 1st of 1793, a very long time ago. They first issued 11,178 copper cents. So when you think about it, that's a small amount. But of course, it wasn't that many people back then, of course. And then, believe it or not, the design had some issues, not with the way it was minted, but some public outrage was because of the 13 chain links, and they were kind of associating that with slavery. So immediately that same year, that chain wreath was changed to a regular wreath, and it kept being produced for many, many more years. So that was a very beautiful scent, and believe it or not, if you have one of those, that is literally a pretty penny, uh, in the thousands, even in the millions at auction. So lucky are the ones that do actually have one of those. Talk about holding something that's just very valuable. Um, so the last penny was made in the Philadelphia Mint on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. After 232 years, the penny is no longer being minted in the U.S. It's still allowed for circulation. It's going to cause some interesting things if you're paying with cash. If the store doesn't have pennies to give in change, or if you don't have exact change, and if they don't have it, they might either round up or round down. There's a formula that they're using, so it will cause some issues. And of course, we're using more digital money, our card swipe, or with our phones, the Apple Pay and all that stuff. So, but believe it or not, we were taking a loss. It would cost about 3 cents, 3.69 cents to make, almost four times its face value. So we were definitely losing money minting them. Unfortunately, it's just everything's gotten more expensive, and back in the day, I'm sure you've heard the stories of your grandparents, like, oh, well, a penny would buy me this, or a penny would buy me that. So, and here's a wheat cent. I'm sure a lot of you that collect have one of these. This is in very good condition. Probably should be having gloves, but I also like to hold them and enjoy. Just look at that. Looks like it's freshly been minted. And of course, I have some Indian head pennies, and there's various other ones before, and I'm sure a lot of you have some of these, especially with like the little ones. The kids, one of the best things to actually start. I'm sure you have a few of these, few jars. I have many myself, and I remember one time, I what got me into coins as well. I've always have loved them, but I remember one of the kids, he inherited a box similar to this from his grandpa, and it had a whole bunch of wheat pennies and $2 bills, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And he was showing them off. So I have my own version of it for many years, because amazing things that when you're a child or growing up and have good memories, just either copying that or having something similar, it just brings joy, which is an amazing thing. And talk about joy. You won't believe what I found in there, because there was a few other coins in there uh, of no value. Some were actually tokens, so seriously, no cash value. But I noticed this. Oops. In there, I thought it was a gold-plated Mexican cent, because I have some of those. But no, it was actually a 2.5 Mexican gold peso. And look at that year, 1918. I didn't even know I had this. And I was so happy. I even ran out there and showed my wife, and she was like, wow, you forgot that you had that. I'm like, apparently I did. So talk about a lucky find, especially with the prices of gold. That's going to go in a special location. I just had to share that with you guys. I made my day. And so sometimes, even though you think you know what you have, you'll be surprised of stuff that's hidden in between other coins. So I was very thankful that I found that. I'm just like so happy because, it's gold, it's rare. And to be all in a bunch of wheat pennies. What do you know about that? Well, that's the sad reality of the American U.S. Mint, guys. It's not going to be longer produced, but I will always have good memories of going to the coin store, picking up Indian heads, or even some of these in amazing condition. I remember they had a big jar, and they were just like, I'm like, how much are these? And they're like, oh, we'll just trade it off for exact face value. So I got a good amount of these for a penny, and also in change. I would always look for them. So it's very sad to see it go away, but I understand when we're losing money to make something, it's understandable. And believe it or not, we are not the only country that's going that route. Australia, the Bahamas, New Zealand, and Canada have all stopped production. Oh, and including some European nations with the euro, the €1 and the €2 coins they have stopped making them because of the cost. And so we're not the only countries to actually take that step. Australia started in 1992, New Zealand in 1990. The Bahamas is a more modern, other than the U.S. 2020 is when they stopped theirs. So I think it's a suit that many countries will follow when it just comes to the cost. And let's be honest, a lot of places are going digital. And, you really can't buy much with a cent anymore. It was just pretty much to help you get exact change. So again, very sad. Please leave in the comments your guys' opinions or your guys' experiences, or the good memories of like hearing your grandparents or parents talking about like, oh, I got these pennies and I went to the store and I bought this candy or cards, baseball cards or something. I would love to hear all those, because I love history, and it just takes you back in a time when, back in history, our people's history. Well, guys, that's the video for today. You guys take care. I will see you on the next one. Happy stacking, and God bless.